Well, this is crazy. Oh my gosh. So our film took #1 at the Common Reader Film Festival, which I was really excited and proud to be a part of, because when you have a disability and it gets recognized on a top level, it makes you feel inspired to keep going forward and keep helping others and to shed the light on things, to kind of like bring more awareness to things, which is why I was put on this journey. So welcome to Branches Tarot Shadow Healing 33 on the clock right there, which is a master number. So I got a lot of people in my head going, what the heck is that snake thing on my page? Even my aunt, my relatives, right? Well, I finally figured out what it is. I was like, it's the Kraken. It's the Kraken. The Kraken, okay? It's got spikes going all the way around like a sea serpent. It's got fins at the top of it. Snakes don't have fins. So are snakes transforming into the Kraken? I don't know. I honestly don't know this, okay? 111, but God does. So apparently new beginnings, because we have changed the frequency of the planet. We are going back to these prehistoric times now because we've awakened the old DNA. And because of our vibration, because we haven't raised it, we're going backwards. We're supposed to be going forwards. So there's a galactic cricket, you know, a cricket bug that has that antenna that goes right through the serpent, you know, like, let's go fishing. It's almost like he's trying to say, I've got the bait, let's hook it, let's go fishing. And I'm like, is that what you're trying to say? God also, you know, talking about, you know, don't dismiss it when he sends the snakes about the real prophets. So I'm a real prophet. And I'm not going to say who. I'm just going to say I am real. I just posted and dropped a couple more videos because I was out there. If you start seeing pennies on the ground or nickels or dimes, you know, what's it? It's the song I'm getting. Penny for your thoughts, a nickel for a kiss, a dime if you tell me that you love me. Penny for your thoughts, a nickel for a kiss, a dime if you tell me that you love me now. I think that's the Tramps. Yeah, from the 80s. If you love me like I love you. Yeah, somebody wants to know where they stand in your life. Somebody wants to know the truth. Where do I stand? You know, walking hand to hand, you know. They say you're using me. If you're using somebody, listen to your intuition to see if there's somebody's using you. Okay? You're going to know by energy. We need to stop going by the mouth. We need to go by their energy. People's energy is going to be authentic. You can't duplicate it. So people can always copy what I say, which happens a lot in this collective, but you can't duplicate my energy. You can't. I have a face of a person in my hand now. Do you see him? See the X? Do you see the little cricket bug like there at the bottom of my hand now? All of that because someone did black magic on me to fall in an accident, and they got what they wanted, 333, and I broke my hand in 5 places. But now that scar is the shape of the arm of God, okay? And that's hieroglyph. That's Egyptian. Then I've got down here a little cricket bug that looks like like a fairy. See it? How many of you got that? And then here in the hand, do you see him? Right there? Yeah. One horn God. So I am thankful for that blessing, because every time someone does something harmful to me, it's going to go in the reverse. So if anybody is like wishing dark magic on you, all it does is it brings out the people from your ancestral realm to say, oh no, we're not going to have that. So I just dropped a moth because a couple of weeks ago, someone was really trying to do some dark harm, like wanting me to die in a car accident. Like, this is like some real stuff here. No joke. Ancestors sometimes will cling onto the hood of my car just to give it protection, energy. 444, divine protection. There you go. And so this time there was a moth that came, you know, and usually I'll get them. I had the lunar green one, you know, that has the one eye and it's got the Leo, the Pharaoh chin. It's really cool, right? It's, you know. And then I got this one that looks like a wolf, right? Looks like a wolf. And I was really excited about seeing that one because I was like, wait a minute, moths don't look like wolves. Well, this one did in the face, right? But when you flip it upside down, it's 3 ancestors of different lineages, which shows you how your DNA works. And one of mine is actually, you can see him from, I think it's from Civil War or from the Revolution. I'm not sure if it's from the 1700s or from the 1800s, because it's one or the other. But he's wearing a coat. He's wearing an old coat with all the like stripes on it, so he's in the military. And the other one, he's just a beast, meaning like he's like, I ain't tolerating this. I'm not tolerant. So it's like when you get your ancestors that come to visit you, don't dismiss 555, expect the unexpected. Don't dismiss the book by its cover. Just because it looks like a moth, just because it looks like a bee, you know? I have the divine, you know? Everyone has these statues of the face of the divine, okay? Like on their altars and things like that. But then I get a bee that has the wing of the divine in its face, Ra, right? And then it's got the sword of truth, the ace of swords on its leg. And then it's got also the eye of Horus in the bee. So it's telling you the divine all is one. It's like one whole council of spirits that watch over all of us to make sure that we go for our higher self and on our higher path. Okay, so if something is coming towards you, don't dismiss it. Don't assume it's just a fly. Don't assume it's just a bee. Don't assume it's just a moth. Don't assume it's just a butterfly. Don't assume it's just a cricket bug. I have a gold copper colored cricket, okay? A picture of a cricket bug that's copper. How many copper cricket bugs have you ever seen, right? So don't dismiss what you see, okay? They're trying to reach out to you. I have even seen little tiny trolls in my trees out here where I live. Now, when you raise your frequency, I have a gift for that, I guess, and it's a blessing I'm thankful for, but it's basically to tell us if we start raising our vibration, we can communicate with them and they can visit us. That's why last night I made dinner for my ancestors to say thank you. Because just to do that for them is just to show that you acknowledge and you love them in your life. You're never alone. So when they pass on, we don't have to be so sad anymore and think that we've been left behind. And if you have abandonment issues like I did as a child, it should give you comfort that even if you had that imaginary friend when you were a little kid, it's probably real. Probably wasn't your imagination at all. It was probably you manifested your ancestor to come back, because we do have them in the spiritual realm. Okay? So this is a message for the men, because a lot of men are feeling off balance here. Some of you might be firemen. Some of you might be tennis players. Some of you might be soccer players, baseball players, football players. I'm getting lots of sports people. And it's like, they want to know where they stand, Well, you're going to know when you open your mouth. Don't go to other people to ask questions for the other person. You have to, the only way you can come out of your comfort zone is to break ice and be yourself. And if you have avoidant issues like my divine masculine does, if you keep going through lower vibrational people that you talk to that are in the same energy as you, you're going to get the opposite result that you want. Go through the divine to get what you want. And then raise your vibration to receive that. If it's meant to be yours, it'll be yours. But if you're stealing things from people just to get ahead, or thinking that you can captivate by capitalizing on other people's energies, you can't get off of mine. I can tell you that right now. Mine is duly highly protected. And it has been since June 19th, 2019. My brother's birthday. Because that's when a certain cryptocurrency dropped. And I was cut out of it. And ever since, that cryptocurrency went to heck. And every person who was involved in it, their karma came. That's how I know this is a lot bigger than people realize. So I just go with the flow, and I release the things that no longer serve me. Because if it's really meant for me, it's going to be always for me. Okay? It's not to punish me. It's for me. And it took a long time for me to realize that. So when a guy leaves my life and says, I don't want to be with you because they think they can get something better, then I accept it. And I say, okay, I can't honestly be physically now because I've risen my vibration so much. I cannot physically even be in the same room with somebody who doesn't have the same vibration as me. And that's no joke. That's why my voice is starting to crack, because it can make you sick. It can literally make you sick. You want to be at peace with someone. You want to be able to share and do things and grow with that person. Like I said this before to my ancestors. I said, you can have differences with people, disagreements, but it should not be a battle of wits to see who wins an argument. It shouldn't be a battle of wits to see who's right and who's wrong. Because if you're always trying to prove that you're right, the divine's going to topple you and say, oh yeah, we got something else for you. See, that's the one thing that I have to stay balanced about. Even with the gifts that I've been given and how the Spirit has blessed me, I know it's a responsibility. It's their word. So if somebody blocks me, you're blocking the divine. If you're blocking the messages that the divine sends, then you're blocking the divine. And if you block the divine, you're blocking 1111. You're blocking what their mission is that they want to be having accomplished. So they'll find another way to go. So it's not about punishing people. Like, aha, this person got this and that person got that. That's not fair. That's not fair. If we keep saying it's not fair, we don't see the bigger picture. Everyone has a unique gift on this planet, and everyone has a unique purpose, and everything has to be done correctly in its fashion. And in my case, I have been having to learn from my wounds is child abandonment and narcissistic abuse. And now I recognize it. And when I see it happening to children, I don't like it. I don't like it in storytelling unless the story is going to reveal it. Because if you are writing a story as a writer, that's how I see it, and you don't reveal what a narcissist does in that story, because that's like the ultimate evil. It really is, because you're preying upon children. And that's an energy that the divine wants off the planet. 1222. Because that type of energy corrupts children. And when you corrupt children, you corrupt generations. And with those type of curses, you corrupt the soil in your body. The energy in your body corrupts the soil. Therefore, when animals eat that soil and that grass, it's already been corrupted. This is what God and what Jesus was talking about when he says about planting good seeds and good fruit. It's not just about ideas. It's about your energy. So that's why he's picking through every fish. If the energy's bad in one fish, it goes. Confirmation from Skittles. Birds, if the energy's bad, it goes. Bees, if the energy is bad, it goes. People, if the energy is bad, it goes. You don't go on to the next one. That's what he's doing. This is what the divine judgment has always been about. This is what Revelation, we are in Revelation times now. But I'm not doing the gloom and doom thing here. He doesn't like it when people use his name and say, God don't want this. No, he wants you to think here and use your intuition. 1333, love and support. Because if you are just listening to other people, you're not getting the food that you need. You need to go to source, right? Well, source is in you. So when you start listening to source inside of you, everything else will start to fall into place. Okay? So, gentlemen, okay? Don't judge a book by its cover. If you're chasing the size 0, okay, on Instagram or on any social media, or someone that can fabricate certain things to make it look good for you, then you're falling for the trap. Your best way to knowing somebody, to get to know them, is when you're in a room with them and you're talking to them and you can taste their energy. You can feel it vibrate next to you. That's your best clue. But I can tell you one thing. Empaths are learning, like myself, not to be tricked by narcissistic energy. We see the clues because a narcissist cannot stop the programming. They don't want to. So the divine has a special place for the narcissists. 444, because they're tired of seeing children being corrupted. So unless a happy solution comes from this by teaching people that if you were programmed to manipulate people at a young age, right? then you don't even realize you're in that energy. And it took me to be broken out of it to see it for myself, for my own daughter to tell me what I was doing to her when she was a child. I don't want that for her. I don't want that for my grandchildren. So it's important to always listen, but it's also important to view and see it for what it is. That's the only way things stay pure at heart. And that's the only way the energy stays good. It's like Lot's, you know what he told Lot, right? If you can find me 50 people, you know, he says, I'll find you 10, 50 or 60, right? And then he finds only 20. If you can find me 20 people, I won't destroy the city. You can find 10 people, I won't destroy the city. You can find one person, I won't destroy the city. We're at this point now, because this is a global thing. It's all over. And if we don't start looking at this from a realistic point of view, that our ancestors are coming back, you know, in forms that we never thought. I mean, even the concrete is alive, dude. The concrete's alive. I can see faces in the concrete, because ashes to ashes, dust to dust, and dust we shall return. But do you want your energy to be a negative one or a positive one? Because even when you pass on, it depends on what you're doing in your lifetime, because you take that karma with you into the next. And if you're karma free finally and you're being attacked, then your good karma goes up for your family, your generations, and everyone. This is what he meant. This is what God meant through all of things. We've been misunderstanding things because based off the vibration of our education levels. That's not saying a person who has 6 degrees is smarter than the person who has only 1 or has none. It's about wisdom, internal wisdom. And when you listen to the divine first, which I do, when I'm studying, the divine has helped me, teaching me. And I've learned most of the way is observant. But for gentlemen, we have been looking at things, or you have been looking at things from an opposite view. But if you're being awakened, this is your opportunity now to go within in Hermit energy, in Virgo energy, with yourself, 4 swords, 4 of swords energy, Libra energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Some of you might be Aquariuses and some of you might be Libras. You have to reflect and then look at your age and see what you've learned. Have you learned to scheme people? Have you learned to get what you want because you didn't have it as a child? Remember this. These are lessons we have learned. And if you have children of your own, are they repeating the same cycles you did? Because they learned from you, mom, you, dad, right? We have to look at it from that perspective. And don't think that our ancestors didn't figure this out after they passed on, because they did. That's why they're back to help us. So don't assume if something comes in a spiritual form, even in a cloud. I have a video of a seraphim, a great angel in red with the face of the Lord. Okay? For protection. Always understand your angels are always with you. And do not be afraid when you see them. Because once you conquer fears, that's the devil energy. If someone is putting you into fear, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? You don't do this, you're going to hell. You do this, you're going to hell. You are gay, you're going to hell. If you're transgender, you're going to hell. You doing it again? No, you are not. You are not. Okay? People who put you in that fear state of mind, devil energy, that's devil energy. So you can't preach God in devil energy. I don't care which pastor you are. That's the trick. Because the devil lives inside of you, the energy, the devil energy, because that balances out the shadow. Right? My daughter came out to me when she was 13 years old, said she thinks she was bisexual. Then she said pansexual. Okay. That was hard for me. I didn't accept that very well. Especially after the shooting in Orlando, because my daughter came to me and said, people want to kill me because of who I am. And when you're a parent and you realize that people out there from your beliefs are targeting children that are yours now, whether you're Republican or like I was, right? So that tells you you don't want to be political anymore. You just want to be independent with what you see and view, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that, because people who preach against the innocent prayers of a child, 2022, the divine sees that. And don't think karma doesn't go with that, because it does. So I didn't want to block that. So a lot of Republican families are giving birth to gay children, transgender children, pansexual children, non-binary children. And that's the next generation. That's the karmic lesson. Because eventually it comes out. You can't hide it. So why do that? I mean, I even told my daughter about my Bicurious experience, and she laughed at it. She was like, oh my God, Mom, you actually did that. You actually did that. You actually did that. But you know what? When you're abused by men for 111 from men for such a long period of time, okay, even narcissistic ones that want to have a threesome, you know, they want that threesome, okay, and you're only doing it to please a guy, and you don't recognize your own self-worth, and then you're like, okay, I'll gravitate towards the same sex. Okay, I'll do that, right? Until you see the same sex kissing the person that you're supposed to be in love with, and then you're like, oh no, I didn't like that. Bye. That's how you learn. And more importantly, it also teaches you that if you're at a low vibration and you're doing things just to please everybody else and you're not pleasing yourself, you're going to be miserable. So the divine doesn't want that for the gentleman. Okay? So for you to be the emperors that you're supposed to be in this collective, how do you go about doing that? Well, for one thing, you don't go around trying to please mama. You don't go around trying to please daddy. You don't go around trying to please the money. You don't chase the money. If you're chasing 12-22-22, if you're chasing money, you're not doing it right. I want to teach children how to attract money and opportunity. Attract their higher self. Attract abundance. Abundance first. Attract loving and nurturing themselves so that the right energy comes towards them. That they don't have to be bullied as a child, because they recognize what bullying means. It means the person who's bullying is the insecure one. I want to teach them that at an early age, before it happens to them. That if they're weird or they stand out and people don't understand them, then they're the cornerstone. I said this in the other video. I said, if I'm rejected, spirit burp, sorry. If I'm rejected, I am protected because I am the cornerstone. Let's sing it together. If I'm rejected by you, it's okay because I'm protected through. I am the cornerstone, like you. You know, it's about understanding why Jesus was the cornerstone. Understand why Zeus was the cornerstone. Understanding why the divine is the cornerstone. Understanding why Buddha is cornerstone. You know that this is how, if we master Tai, who's going to be an ascended master, I just know it. Because kindness is the only true religion that should be preached. And you can't be kind to someone if you're constantly instilling fear in them. You can't. It's like when Luke Skywalker watched Obi-Wan Kenobi being struck down by Darth Vader. He just lowered his lightsaber and then it made Obi-Wan more powerful. 444. So it's knowing when to put down this Five of Swords. It's knowing when to give up and surrender and to accept things, because if you're part of this 144,000 like I am, Congratulations. You were here when the Bible was written. You were here during the Greeks. You were here during Genghis Khan. You were here during Alexander the Great. You were here during Egyptian times with Cleopatra, Nefertiti, and of course, Akhenaten and Amenhotep and Ramses. You were here. And now God is blessing those that were cut out of the Bible and treated so horribly by history as significant. And you're seeing it now in nature. So now when I see a crane fly and I see the Leo on there, I know it's my ancestor. But I also know Leo is joy and love. I have Leo 5 places in my chart. I don't go by sun signs anymore because the divine has told me I have every sign in my chart. It is the energy you reflect for the day. If you just assume that you're a Libra, or you assume you're just a Virgo, or you assume you're just a Gemini, or you assume you're just a Taurus, and then you got your midhaven, you assume you're just a Capricorn, or you assume you're just an Aquarius, or you're in your North Node, you assume you're just a Pisces, or you assume that you're just a, what was the other one? What was the other one? Aquarius. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Or your descendant sign, new Sagittarius. Okay? So it's like, if I go ahead and I just focus on my sun sign, and then I'll focus on my moon sign, Scorpio, right? Or Libra, again, because I have Libra moon, I have Scorpio moon. So it's too much to judge off of that. So the best thing to do is just to go by the energy you feel and what the divine gives you. And the divine will tell me what energy I'm in for the day. They always do. They'll tell me what the color is. They'll tell me who my divine masculine's aliases are. They'll tell me hydrant, okay? Hydrant, yeah, okay. Tennis, football, Barcelona, soccer, okay? You can't. Why hide behind the aliases when the divine will tell you who you are? They're always going to do that. So I'm always going to know. So the whole point is that it's okay to take off your mask and be you, even if you're afraid to do so. I mean, I've seen aliens, which God is an alien, right? I've seen fairies. I like Yeats and William Blake, and J.R. Tolkien, and of course, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. So they weren't crazy. It isn't myth folklore. Myth is no longer existed because I've seen it. I mean, Avalon existed. King Arthur existed. Merlin existed. Because all divine illumination comes from here. So for your best writers to think things that aren't real, when you manifest something, it comes from the divine. Our ideas come from the divine. So Divine Intervention, my book, Volume 1 of the Lucky Chronicles, read it. Divine Providence, Volume 2 of the Lucky Chronicles, read it. And now Divine Justice, which is coming out, I'm going to be publishing that. Read it. Because it all came from the divine. I was saying things in that book that I didn't even realize were true. And now everything that's happened in those books is based on true events. All of it. Based off of true events. So what we're learning in this whole thing is that, okay, fairy tales do exist because they did. I've seen fairy flies. But the thing is also, if you have fairies, if you want to save fairies, okay? If you want them to survive so that you can see the beautiful magic that they help create, because they're like beautiful muses. They really are. They'll inspire you and they'll help you with whatever you're manifesting. But if you are in a negative energy and you piss off a fairy, they're going to come after you. They're just like wounded children. That's how you need to look at it. They want to be loved so badly. They will sometimes love bomb you, just like we do, right? Just like people do. Oh, I love you so much. You're the best. You're the greatest. You're the greatest. You're the greatest. The minute you disappoint them, then it's like, they think you don't love them anymore. That's not true. But they're learning, And the best way we can adopt a fairy, the best way we can do is to help heal fairies, is to put our healthy, positive energy into the universe. And then when we raise our vibration, they raise theirs. And then they'll always assist you. And they won't be afraid to do so. They love children. I mean, I have a video of a leprechaun on my page. So it's like, oh, that's cute. The trees right now, the fairies, they're taking their leaves and they're going, yay! Yes, you exist. And they're like, yay! Have you ever been in a forest, or have you ever been in a park and you notice that maybe 1 or 2 or 3 leaves might be just spinning, but the other ones are not doing anything? Don't judge a book by its cover. Gentlemen and ladies, don't judge a book by its cover, because you never know. Okay? So that's my message for today, 30 minutes in and so forth. I haven't decided if I'm going to go back to reading tarot. I really haven't, because I don't need them. I just get the messages from the divine and doing what they tell me to talk about. And, but they do like, you know, Sunday spiritual wisdom. So I will be doing that. I was posting that before, but we ran into some difficult situations. We have a lot of readings we have done on Anchor. You're welcome to go ahead and look at. I might, though, this weekend, I might go back and do a Sunday spiritualism for people who are interested, because it's about seeing scripture from the higher perspective. And you only can do that with the energy you have. Okay? I'll know when preachers are awake. I'll know, because they'll be able to preach what I've been preaching, because we're all getting the same download. It may not be in the same form, but it is in the same wisdom. Okay? So pay attention to owls today for wisdom. You see clearly now. Tower, for some people, they're not going to be able to see their eyes. If you see the video I posted today, you might go like, it's not animation, it's real. And what else did I see? Owl spirit, moth spirit. Surrender to the divine. Surrender to releasing what no longer serves you, and be open to it. I mean, some people will not like you, or they'll freak out by you, or they'll think that you're crazy or something, and that's okay. Let them. You already know the truth. That's why I respect William Butler Yeats, because he's being vindicated because he told the truth. William Blake, vindicated. That's why the secret societies were created, because they saw these things from the very beginning, like the Hermetic Golden Dawn, okay? But they kept the secret societies because other people weren't awoke or awakened to it. They didn't see that they were in a matrix. They didn't see that the way to get closer to the divine is actually to listen to the divine. And that's what I do. So every time a Skittles will go ahead and squawk or something like that, then I know it's the divine talking to me. And they'll do it during the day to help me with my memory and stuff. So I have to get going. I just wanted to go ahead and give this quick message. 33 minutes in, we're pretty good. God bless, love and light, and take care.